so nice and quiet. Are you nervous? No, I was just curious. Okay, so first off, tell us what you do. What is it that you do as a business owner, as an entrepreneur?
So I have a conglomerate of tourism businesses here on the island of Isla Mujeres. We have a restaurant, a catering business, vacation rental business, concierge, and I also have an online souvenir T-shirt store where I do all my own designs on those store. And then my master's degree is educational leadership, so I am an expert in curriculum design. So I work with program and course creators to optimize their curriculum program so that it is really built for the learner to succeed.
That is a lot. That's a lot to juggle.
It is. It is a lot to juggle. But I have good people that work for me, and being part of this mastermind group, which is your topic today, is what has really made that work for me. Okay.
All right, so before we dive into that, give me just a little bit more background about why entrepreneurship, why not stick in a 9-to-5, what led you to this path, how'd you get started? Because you like you said, you have like 6 different things going on.
Yeah, so I was consulting, and in 2010, I wanted to live here. Other people got to live here, so why shouldn't I get to live there? So I decided to quit my job, sell my house, sell my car, sell everything, and move to a Caribbean island. And if I needed to move back and work until I retire like the rest of the world, okay.
Yeah.
And 11 years later, I'm still here. And it's just not that hard to reinvent yourself.
So true.
For me, I am comfortable taking risks and trying something different. And if it doesn't work, well, okay, do something else.
Yeah. Did you feel called to entrepreneurship? Like it was a part of you that needed to?
I always have. When I was 21 years old, I was a hairdresser and opened my own salon because I didn't, feel like a fit in any of the other salons that I worked at, that were there where I lived. And so then there was a need for a gymnastics program, and I used to compete gymnastics. And so I was coaching gymnastics for kids in the town where I lived through the city. And so I think it's about seeing a need, finding a need, and filling the need. And that, I believe, is how entrepreneurs think.
Yes.
Instead of creating a business to find a need for it, then finding a need and creating a business that fills the need.
Right. Especially if you have a skill set that fills that specific need.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. When I would meet people would say, "What? You live here? What do you do when you live here?" And I would say, "Well, we get together and we play guitar. My husband's a musician, and eat good food because he loves to cook."
Yeah.
And they would say, "Oh, well, I want to do that." And so thus was born Dinnertainment, because then we go to your house that you've rented here on vacation, and we bring good food, and Javi plays guitar, and it's not a typical chef service. There's not someone in a white coat and a white hat not speaking with you. It's very interactive. It's you're connecting with locals. You have live music, and you have good food. And so that just sort of took off. And then Javi's grandmother's house came available. And so we thought, okay, well, this can be the prep kitchen for Dinnertainment, and we'll just put a few tables in the front. And then that took off. So we're like, well, okay, here we go. Let's have a restaurant.
Yeah.
And then we expanded the restaurant. And then with the pandemic, Dinnertainment has tripled.
Wow.
So we've scaled that business and are kind of trying to figure out where the restaurant fits in that now. The vacation rentals, and it all kind of works together. When you book a reservation through me, then I'm going to offer you, it's a long travel day. Would you like to have a taco bar in your villa when you arrive? And, while you're here, you should come to Javi's Cantina. We'd love to have you there. Can I make a reservation for you?
Yes.
And then when you get back home, I'm going to email you and thank you for being here, and I'm going to include a link to the Shopify store in case you forgot any souvenirs for your dog sitter or any family member.
That's awesome. Okay, so it all works together. It's all been one thing that's built on the next, on the next, on the next. It's all kind of snowballed.
Right.
And then through that, in 2020, Pat Flynn and the SPI team launched this entire new membership, the SPI Pro Group.
Yes.
And out of that, you, I, and the others formed a mastermind.
Yes.
How has that changed your business, for good or bad? You'd say everything that I said was crap, so.
No, everything. When the pandemic hit, the island shut down. I refunded tens of thousands of dollars in vacation rentals and entertainments we lost.
Yeah.
No one was allowed on the island, so we were dead in the water.
Yes.
And so I needed to pivot, and so I pivoted and tried to. The online course world grew 900% or something crazy like that.
Right.
And what I realized when I was taking these courses is that, because I was pivoting, trying to learn as well, which is how I found Pat Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
And what I learned is, these courses had good information, but why wasn't I completing the course? And what was making me drop off? And instead of beating myself up, I really started looking at it from a different perspective. They could tweak this or tweak that in their curriculum and or instruction, and I would have been more engaged and completed the course and gotten more from that.
Okay.
And so that was a need thus that I could fill.
Yeah. But
and
how
it
did that
increased
lead?
my income streams, which is how I think I actually found Pat Flynn, because his website is passive income streams, right?
Smart passive income.
Smart passive income.
Yeah.
And he talks about different income streams.
He does.
Even before the pandemic, I started thinking about how I needed to diversify my income streams.
Yes.
Because September, October, November, December on the island are pretty low.
Okay.
We changed the format a little bit, and we now, even over a year later, are still going live every Friday with just music kind of talk show format.
Yeah. Which I got to see a little glimpse of. That was awesome.
You guys got to be part of it.
Really enjoyed that. Great. Okay, so then you met the group. You wanted to pivot and develop passive income streams, different revenue streams. And then you found the SPI Pro group, and out of that came our mastermind.
Yes.
With the five of us meeting weekly.
Yes. How
has that helped you? Or what difference have you seen in your business since doing that?
So I heard Pat Flynn say once that it's not easy to read the instructions on the outside of the bottle if you are inside the bottle.
Yeah.
You need a team to help see what's obvious from the outside that's not always obvious from the inside.
Right.
And so being able to have an idea and say it out loud, to have an idea and have to say it out loud and have to defend it or explain it and have it make sense to other people helps to kind of float this idea and see if it's going to float.
To validate it.
Yes,
yeah.
To validate the idea, which I think is important for any entrepreneur, to validate an idea before you take that risk.
True.
Is there really a need?
And that came out of talking to your audience, which came out of being in the group.
Right.
Okay.
And you're also learning from, 4 other people that you have great respect for and have different backgrounds and different experiences and different skill sets.
Yes.
That you can, it's almost like having a board of directors.
Yeah.
And
that's how I think of us.
Right?
Yes.
And that, each of us are going to have a different angle on how we talk about it. And so in the mastermind group, we have a hot seat. And so whoever's in the hot seat will then speak about whatever they're working on. And then you get, 4 different angles of that idea.
Because it makes sense in your head. Everything is crystal clear and it's perfect. And you completely see how it's going to work and how it's going to take off. And I'm going to launch this thing. And next thing you know, I'm going to be a millionaire by next Tuesday. And then the other 4 in the group come to you and say, wait, what? Like, are you serious? Nobody's going to buy that. Yeah. Or, it might be a little bit longer than next Tuesday. Yeah, so.
And it's, okay, well, tell me more about that. Tell me more how this is going to work. That's the other thing that I've learned is this is a long game.
Yeah.
Rarely are things money-making in a short game.
Very true.
Because even entertainment, we've been doing this about 10 years, this catering business. And it was only until this year that we've literally tripled our business.
Wow.
But it's a long game, and now people know us and people recommend us.
So one question I would have for you, would you recommend other entrepreneurs get into their own mastermind groups?
Yes, although I will say I think And maybe it's an entrepreneur, I believe, has a mindset that they like to collaborate. So I think if you are a true entrepreneur and you want to take risks and you want to pivot and you want to try different things and you typically like to talk about it.
Yeah.
And maybe if that is not a good fit for you, maybe you're not an entrepreneur. Maybe you are a business owner or, and I think those are different. I think it's different to own businesses and being an entrepreneur.
Okay. Would you recommend entrepreneurs?
I recommend entrepreneurs doing this because it helps to validate ideas before you take the risks.
Okay. I like that. Last question. What's next? What's next for you? What's next for the island? What's next for your 7, 8, 9 businesses? Are you launching another one next week we don't know about yet?
No. I'm done.
Okay.
What's next for me are what I've really spent a lot of time on in the last month are getting systems in place that allow me to work on my business, not in my business.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being on my podcast.
Thank you for inviting me to be on the podcast.
Happy. Thank you for
love your podcast.
having us here on the island.
Yes. And that's the other thing. It's not just having a mastermind group that you get to meet virtually with online. When your mastermind group actually comes into your business.
Yes.
Talk about a hot seat. What are we calling that? The flaming pit?
Flaming pit, yeah. That's what we went with.
That was huge. It's huge. Can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. Well, we will talk to you soon.
Great.